Okay, so after they have tried with this exercise, which is the Turnitin check, many of them found that they have high plagiarism like 23, 26, 15, 18. And I mentioned that we should have lesser than 10%. If you have a report of research which is higher than 10%, I will not mark your report. I will download the Turnitin report. Let me see if I have a Turnitin report here. Oh yeah, I think I have. Then, oh, I have already deleted. Oh yeah, I have. I will just download this report and then attach with your report. For example, this is 26. I'll just attach this report and write a sentence as the assessment rubric of your report that these students' report trigger high Turnitin, and therefore 0 marks will be rewarded to you all because you copy and paste. Because in the research world, it is about your contribution. If you copy other people's work, that means you are copying other people's contribution as your own contribution. 你拿别人的东西讲这是你自己的东西 which is not ethical. You take other people's work and claim that this is your own work and publish it. So in the world of research, this one cannot. You cannot do this. Very unethical. Very serious as compared to other subject. Other assignment, you might just copy and paste your lecturer, just close one eyes and let you go. But research cannot. You cannot do that. Yeah, very serious. So your friends get very scared. Oh, more than 10%, then 0 mark for your research method report means next semester I'm going to see you back again. So they get so worried. Susan, have you copied and pasted at the chat box? I don't see it here. Now Susan is going to share. Yeah, Susan share with you all the a link, law POE. It is from the Shopee. I cannot actually help you to chat many times because in order to chat that I have to download it and then upload it into the Turnitin, wait for the report, download the report, and then send the report back to you. And imagine I have 47 groups, so I have to do 47 times. Okay? I don't think I will be doing that for a second time for you all, and therefore you can actually use this link that is posted here. Use the link that is posted, shared by your friend. Actually, there are many online Shopee that sell this. They help you to upload the report, right? For 30 cents per report. So you can try it here lah. Is that alright? Is that alright? You just forward this link to your friend. Okay? 30 cents per report. So you can do it unlimited time lah, until you are happy with the report. No problem. Stephanie? Wilson outside. What is this? Wilson punya friend Huh? Ask him to log into Thai-UNT. Is that alright? I don't want you all to do this every time you see a kacau all of us. Okay, yeah, so clear, yeah? Now, you can use mine, no problem, but not every time. Upon request and then I do it for you. No, I don't have time for you because I need to also settle many other things from other university. Okay, helping you to upload one time is to let you have a feel how it looks like, how serious it is when you have plagiarism. Then you will have a lot of this like highlighted. Without showing you this, you won't be able to know how serious it is when you copy and paste. You thought that it's okay to copy the sentence and then change the word. It's not okay. I repeat, it's not okay to copy and paste the sentence and then edit the word. No, okay. You have to rewrite the whole thing. Rewrite the whole thing in order to avoid plagiarism. Okay, any question regarding Turnitin? Check for research question, objective methodology, hypothesis also. You don't have to check this, Ash. Because when I see this report, when we see this report, we will click into the report and we will actually justify whether this is a plagiarism. If let's say your plagiarism highlighted at the hypothesis, research question and objective, we will minus that percentage. We will minus the percentage from here. Especially the list of the reference list, okay, the whole reference list might trigger a very high percentage of Turnitin. So we're going to minus that from the percentage. And therefore, when you submit your Turnitin to the Shopee here, I will suggest you all not to give them the reference list. Not to give them reference list, not to give them the, what is that? Cover page assessment rubric, because this will crash with other university or our own university repository. So it's definitely going to trigger high percentage. Any question regarding your Turnitin? No question, yeah? Clear. Okay. So let's move on. Okay, before I forgot, week 12 will be a submission of your whole report. This is week 7. Tomorrow you have to submit part 1, except for Saturday class. Because they have class today, so after the feedback, they might need to change a lot of things, so I give them extra time to submit. But the rest of you, you have extra 1 or 2 days, 3 days to edit. Okay? After submission today for part 1, tomorrow for part 1, week 12, you have to submit the full report. And week 12 itself, on Saturday, you will have to sit for midterm test. I have viewed some of the questions of midterm test, especially chapter 6, because I think chapter 6 is always a very challenging chapter. I found out that this round they use a different kind of approach. Good news is that all are multiple choice. Bad news is that the multiple choice come with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even 7. The kind of question is like this, because it's all multiple choice question. When it is all multiple choice question, they have something like this, like for example, question 1, what is the what, right? And normally we have A, B, C, D, right? But this round, they make it into something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I saw one question even come with, I think, 6 or 7. I go slowly study lah, I don't know. Which I think is very challenging, and then you choose which one is correct answer, A, B, C, D. And there are only 30 questions in 1.5 hours, which also means that each question you have about 3 minutes to understand each of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then choose which one is correct. And when I look at the answer, actually the answer is very clear and straightforward. Just that when you read it, when you get panic, you might get confused, because there's too many statements here. So you have to choose which one is correct, which one is incorrect, right? Especially for the analysis part, this one, this one, the analysis part, that makes all the analysis together with different cases. And I ask you to choose which one is correct. Like case 1, and then they match it with t-test. Case 2, they match it with chi-square. Case 3, they match it with ANOVA. And I ask you to choose which one. I think one of the question is something like that. Which to me, I think it's a little bit confusing. Now, if you are not very clear with each of the analysis, then nanti teruk. You will have to temper. And also, there will be different set of questions. There will be different set of questions. So if you are sitting beside with your friend's punya question set will be different from yours. So you don't copy. Please don't copy your friend's answer because your friend's answer will be incorrect for your set. I think they have 3 set or 4 set of questions to make sure that those that sitting beside you doesn't take the same set of questions. So please don't copy, or else 冤大头啊！你以为是对的 you thought is correct, end up is incorrect answer because they have different question. Okay, I think they have different question. They have different question, and then they have different orientation of this, and they have different orientation of this as well. So even though you see the same question from your friend, this one might have already scrambled out. So your friend's punya question, maybe the correct answer is A, but for your set, the correct answer is C. You know what I mean? Very confusing. So I say, hey, okay, this is to prevent you all to copy and paste, I think. Okay, so let's move on. We have done with the pre-processing. Okay, just a very quick review on what we have done last week. T-test. Okay, 1 sample t-test, independent 2 sample t-test, and paired sample t-test. T-test is used to test whether there is any difference between 2 groups. 1 sample t-test, we use it when we want to compare it with a standard, with a mean, with a value that we have already in hand. Like for example, I want to compare your performance with a standard one, 3.8. I want to compare whether there's any difference between your performance with 3.8, for example, 1 sample t-test. I'm not comparing you with another group. If I am comparing you with another group, that one is independent 2 sample t-test, right? I have 2 different groups of students, and then I want to compare these 2 different samples together with each other, whether there's any difference. Then we use independent 2 sample t-test. Okay, paired sample t-test means that same group of students, or same group of sample, we call it sample. We're going to test them first time. We're going to test them when they are given one test, and then we're going to test them again the second time after we give them a different treatment. The first treatment, we test them. Second treatment, we test them again. Same group of people. But we want to see whether there is any difference when you take different treatment for the same group of people. So you're comparing to yourself. That sample t-test, right? Okay, so let's move on to the next, which is very familiar to you all, Pearson correlation. Pearson correlation is to measure the strength of the relationship between 2 variables. In your lab, we have independent variable and dependent variable. Okay, Pearson correlation between these 2 variables, and the value will go from positive 1.0 to negative 1.0. Negative 1.0 to positive 1.0. So the maximum will be 1.0. Definitely 1.0 is the strongest relationship already, or negative 1.0. Right? Now the strength of the relationship between 2 variables. For example, I want to measure whether there's any relationship between sleep quality and also academic performance. Sleep and academic performance. How many hours do you sleep nowadays? 9 hours. 5 hours only. 5 hours only, 4 hours only. Wow. What is your CGPA? 4.0. What is your CGPA? 4.0. You sleep 5 hours. Oh, hey, hello, those online. Please sleep 5 hours so you can score 4.0. CGPA, not GPA. CGPA 4.0. Hey, we have 4.0 here. What is your CGPA? 5 hours. 3.8 now. See, don't sleep too much. Last time I sleep 8 hours a day. Every day 8 hours. My CGPA last time 30 years back only 3.77. 20 years back, my CGPA is only 3%. See, my student here 3.8, 4.0. You know 4.0 or 3.8, if you are in our generation, last time, in our generation, 20 years back, your CGPA will drop to 3.0 to 3.2 or 3.3. That's the quality of student nowadays. We rarely have students with 4.0. In our whole university, we rarely have. 3.77 is the top student already. I'm the top student in my batch. Yeah, so we don't have 4.0 actually. Okay, now I sleep 8 hours. Top student of that batch of student I think 400 of us. Do you want to sleep 5 hours or do you want to sleep 8 hours? 8 hours. For your information, our brain works to actually store and analyze what you have learned during your sleep. And during your sleep, there are many cycles. Then you will need to make sure you have as many cycles as possible. One cycle is 45 minutes. If you have more 45 minutes cycle, you have more information stored into and interpreted, understand certain concept and store it permanently in your brain. So when you come back to the lecture, you will be able to understand better and faster to absorb new knowledge. Okay. All right. So correlation between sleep quality and also the academic performance. If you have the R equals to 0.2 and below, negative 0.2 and below, like from 0 to negative 0.2 or 0 to 0.2, then it is considered as weak. Okay, no matter is positive or negative. Positive negative means you have positive negative means the what is that? Negatively affect or positively affect. Look at this line. Positively going up, negatively going down. So we are not looking at the negative or positive. We are looking at the number here. Means the strength. How powerful? What is the strength of it? If you have from 0.2 to 0.4 or negative 0.2 to negative 0.4, then it is moderately weak. Moderate if you have negative 0.4 to negative 0.6 or 0.4 to 0.6. So just ignore the positive or negative first. Yeah, positive negative is presenting the star. Okay, the star going up or coming down. Then next, moderately strong will be 0.6 to 0.8, and strong relationship will be 0.8 to 1.0. The strongest will be 1.0. You will not get R that is more than 1.0. R. Okay. That is very straightforward, person correlation, and normally we will need continuous variable in order to measure your person correlation. Okay, person correlation and regression is very closely related with each other. Person correlation and regression is closely related with each other. When you have regression means you can use the formula to predict your y. This is an equation that you learn it in your primary or in your secondary school, right? Y equals to mx plus b. Y equals to mx plus b, right? So this m, what is this m? It's the slope. The slope is your person correlation, right? The slope is your person correlation. Like for example, if I want to predict something, if I want to predict what is the individual combined power of diploma, CGPA, and will result in predicting their CGPA in bachelor degree? Let's say if you take diploma and now you want to advance to bachelor degree and you're wondering whether you can do it well in bachelor degree, so we will take your diploma, CGPA, and MUWET result and predict whether you can do it well. Based on the result here, based on the result here, on the results here, we can predict your CGPA based on this 0.16, 0. This is the constant. This is a constant. You just copy the constant plus the mu-word band times 0.011 plus 0.965, which is from here, your diploma CGPA. This is a formula to predict your bachelor degree. How do we get that? This part is a constant that you have to add on to, it's like an adjustment that you have to add on to the whole formula. And then your mu-word and diploma CGPA will contribute 0.011 and 0.965 times with it. This is your slope or your percent correlation strength of your contribution. So we can see actually diploma CGPA contribute more as compared to mu-word. Diploma CGPA will contribute more in predicting your bachelor degree CGPA. Okay, that's how we get the multiple regression. We call it multiple regression. If it is only single regression, linear regression, we have only bachelor degree CGPA equals to 0.166 plus mu-word, only one. If you have more than one variable here, one IV here, more than one IV, in this case you have two IVs, then this is called multiple regression. Multiple regression. Are you confused? So you need the regression here, right? You need the regression here to actually calculate your multiple regression, to do the prediction. Okay, multiple regression means we have more than one independent variables. So we are going to predict the dependent variable based on several independent variables. All the independent variables, we call them as predictor. Independent variable must be metric, interval, and ratio scale. This is regarding the detail. Your variable should be interval, ratio, scale. In a certain instance, non-metric independent variable can be used if you change to dummy variable code of 0, 1, which also means if let's say you have gender is not in continuous ratio scale, right? Gender is male, female, right? So how do you calculate? You cannot do this calculation, right? So what you can do is to turn this into 0 representing male, 1 representing female. So we can do calculation. We can do multiple regression calculation by changing it into the code of 0 and 1. Any question before we move on to chi-square? So we have learned t-test, one sample t-test, two sample t-test, pair sample t-test. We have looked at the percent correlation from positive 1.0 to negative 1.0. We have also done the regression, linear regression and multiple regression. Hey, don't get confused. Actually, linear regression, this word, linear regression versus multiple regression. They are all regression. Just like linear regression, you have like academic performance equals to 0.434 constant. This is a constant plus 0.988 times sleep quality. This is linear regression. Multiple regression equals academic performance equals to 0.34. We always have one constant plus, and then you have other, like for example 0.56 of sleep quality plus 0.32. What else? Your family economy plus 0.11 of your, what is it? Learning behavior. Multiple regression with multiple independent variables. Okay. Okay, no question from those online. No question yet. Then let me move on. Okay, chi-square is another very popular data analysis method that you can use to test your hypothesis. So let's take a look at an example. It is used to investigate if two categorical variables are related. Now, what does it mean by categorical variables? Categorical variables. Categorical variables means it's not continuous. It's by group, right? Group. For example, we have RSF. We don't have RSF nowadays, right? We have RSW, not RSF. Let me update this for your juniors. Later, your junior won't know what is RS anymore. You still know what is RSF because you're halfway then. Okay. RSD, RST, REI, RIT. Okay. And then we want to know their relationship status, whether they have boyfriend or girlfriend, or whether they are married or divorced or divorced. Oh my God. Okay. So both of this, you are not going to measure it by using 0.1, 1.0, no, right? The relationship status, we have relationship status like divorce, for example, relationship status. What is your relationship status? When you ask in a questionnaire, you might have A, divorce, B, married, C, single, yet not available, D, single and available, very important. Status. Or okay, I guess that's all the status. So it is in category. In category. Then what is your program? What is your program? Then you have A, RSW, B, RST, C, RI, D, RT, DRS. Categorical. You don't have number. You don't see numbers here. So if you want to test whether these two are related to each other, we want to see which program that actually has the highest, this one, for example. What do you think? Which program has the highest, this one, boyfriend and girlfriend? Right? We want to test. Right? Program this one, H0 means null hypothesis. H0 means null hypothesis. Program is independent of relationships. That means there's no relationship between these two. So hypothesis means your alternate hypothesis means there is program is closely related to relationship status. That is your alternative hypothesis. Okay. Now after you run your chi-square, you're going to see this result, something like this. So you're going to look at this asymptotic significant 0.937, which means that this is larger than 0.05. If it is larger than 0.05 means it's not significant, right? Between the program and also the status, relationship status. Program and the relationship status, there is no relationship between these two things. There's no relationship. Okay, so just take a look at the last part. This one is larger than 0.05, and therefore we accept null hypothesis and reject alternative hypothesis. No association was found between program and relationship status, and therefore it is equal. All of this program, they will either have this or this one equal. Okay. Why we do this research? That's because last time your seniors, there is a very obvious situation or scenario whereby one particular program, most of them got boyfriend or girlfriend, just one particular program. which compared to other programs, their results are not so good as well. Not so good, yeah. Overall lah, but not applicable to today's. I don't think so. But last time, very obvious that group. Whenever we have that group as our tutorial group, we have headache. So why give me this group? I don't want this group. They have been labeled as that kind of student. But nowadays, they are getting improving. And then we have lesser and lesser of that group of students. Last time, that group of students is not to say the most, but quite a lot of them. Okay, so we come up with this kind of example to test whether there's any relationship. Okay, let's move on. So that is the chi-square. So remember, whenever you have categorical variable and you want to measure whether there's any relationship between them, right? Then you can use chi-square, categorical variable. If let's say, okay, you don't get confused, yeah? The next statement, I think a lot of students are going to come back to me and ask this question. Should I tell you? I will not tell you. Are you still with me? Those online? If you are sleeping, please continue to sleep. Don't listen to my next statement because you will get confused. If you are not sleeping, then you can continue listen to my next statement about the chi-square. I repeat, if you are sleeping, please continue sleeping. Don't listen to my next statement about chi-square. Example, if you are not sleeping, then you can continue to open your ears and listen to it. Okay. Yes, at least there are some of the representative here. So next time, if you have any question regarding my example here, my next example, please ask this list of students that are listening. They are not sleeping. All right, now, let's say I have this set of data, right? So when I key into my list, like this, I will have to convert it into something like this. This is ID, and this is status. This is program. Okay. Initially, what I have is that ID 01, ID 02, right? 02, 03, something like that. But this is my set of data that you can see in the SPSS. And then the status, I will have single. Single. And this one, not available. And then program, I have RSW, RSD, for example, lah. Right? You can also convert it into this. Single means 1. Not available means 2. 1. RSW represent 1. RSD 2. Now, if you have converted it into something like this, it is normal categorical, right? It is normal categorical, right? It is interval. Do you know what is that again? The ordinal, non-ordinal, we have interval, we have ratio. Now these two are non-categorical, and the other two are, what is the first one? I suddenly forgot what is that word. But we group them as categorical. What is that word again? Let me open back. The measurement scale. Nominal, yes. Thank you very much. That's the difference between 4.0 and 3.77. Nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Okay. Now, nominal, ordinal, like this, right? Categorical. Interval, ratio, like this. Numbers, right? Numbers. Categorical variables is in category, right? And then this one, numerical variable or continuous variable. We have interval and ratio. So this is categorical, and this is numerical or continuous variable. Now you have converted this into numerical. So in order to test whether there's any relationship between these two variables, now you can use which analysis that you can use? You can use Pearson correlation, right? You can use Pearson correlation. Pearson correlation is used on confused, yeah, right? Now you get confused. Pearson correlation you can use to test whether the relationship between two variables are weak or strong, whether there's any relationship, and also the strength of the relationship. Chi-square, if you do not have continuous variable, you have this categorical, and you still want to test whether there's any relationship between these two, then you can use chi-square for categorical, whether it's significant or not between these two variables. Okay. There is another result that I haven't explained to you, which is this one. I'm not sure whether this will be tested. Okay, R square means what? R square means that you are going to predict, I mean, this result is used to predict 99% of your, population. 99% of your population. R square means that you are able to use this formula to predict 99%, which is a lot. Which also means that 1% you are not able, there's one person out of 100 people, there's one person's CHPA is not going to be correctly predicted by using this formula. But 99% are going to predict using this predict correctly. 99%, which is very, very high, this R square. Okay, so let's move on. Any questions so far? Okay, we have come to the last analysis, which is ANOVA analysis method. And I'm not going to continue this because I want you to go back and digest first. Make sure you know what is the difference and under which case that you are going to use different methodology, different analysis method. We have so far t-test and three different t-tests. One sample t-test, two sample t-test, paired sample t-test, and then we have also looked at the Pearson correlation, then the linear regression, multiple regression, and next will be your chi-square. Right? ANOVA we have two types: one-way ANOVA and two-way ANOVA. Right? You can actually build your own table and then try to figure out what kind of independent variable or what kind of dependent variable that is going to involve in each of the category of analysis. Try to make a table to summarize it. Do you do that? 1.0. Do you build a table to summarize or compare between different method or different technique algorithm when you memorize your notes? Oh, that's good. And then you know how to calculate it, but do you know how to apply it to different case? I will give you one case, so which one should you apply? I think you know how to, yeah? You know how to calculate each one of it. They ask you to calculate this, right? So you know how to calculate, but do you know how to apply it to different cases, different research? I don't think so, right? They tell you it should be used
They give you a scenario, this and that, then this is and they are going to use ANOVA, and then please calculate the or what, right? Statistic. Normally they will ask you to use this to calculate. Do they actually match the case study with the different analysis? Like ask you to choose one analysis based on the case study. No, because they are focusing in knowing how to calculate the result. Statistic, I believe so lah. Applying by research method, we don't ask you to calculate. We give you the tool to calculate. You just have to know which one to apply. That's all. We just need you to know under which case you apply which method, but you don't have to calculate the result. Okay? Sometimes result might be given to you. Like for example, they might show you this result and then ask you what is the result. Are you going to accept null hypothesis, reject alternative hypothesis, or there is a relationship between two categorical variables? There is a relationship between program and they give you a lot of sample, and then you have to choose one based on the result, analyze the result. You don't have to calculate because everything will be done by SPSS. Okay, where is my phone? Do I have my phone? Can I have class rep to text me the attendance? Today's attendance. We change back to 12. Okay, IS view. This is user testing system. RSW, full attendance. Okay. Okay, Jensen for attendance. RSD group 3 for attendance. Jiawi all present. RDS and then RSD 456 all present. RSW group 1 all present. Are you sure? Because we have only 1384 student here. 134. Someone is missing in the class. Your midterm test coverage will be from the chapter 1 to chapter 7. Chapter 1 to chapter 7. So starting from week 9, week 11. Yeah, starting from week 10, I will be focusing in showing you this one, the PSV, because I found that some of the video clips are no more available unless it's I will need to retrieve back from the repository and from the past classroom. So I'm going to re-show you all of this, give you to give you better impression on how each analysis, how each of this analysis is applied to different cases. Okay. Friend and Vietnam is absent. Don't just give me all present, all present, all present, all present. Well, some are not present. If you're not going to check it, then you come back here. I don't have to check anymore. Okay, RST sample group 1, Nicholas absent. Those online here, sorry. Let me give you the code so you can take your own attendance, maybe. Sorry. 笑啊！哎呦，那我来问我们在干啥？我不知道我，他问我在我前面有2架电脑、2个 keyboard、2个 mouse，我问我要抓哪一只 mouse。Okay, this is the attendance code 796309. If you are here, then maybe you can check attendance because your classroom might not. KRSW Eldrick Ling is absent on the web desk. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have one more group, right? RIT, right? RIT.
RIT.
Are you here, RIT? Qin Xuan. Is Qin Xuan here? Or RIT? Can someone help Qin Xuan to... So Qin Xuan is absent. Can someone take attendance on behalf of RIT? If not, then I will just mark all the RIT as absent. Okay, I'm going to release those in the MBA here because they are going to attend for the next lab, right? They need some time to travel there. Thank you. See you again. Bye-bye. RIT, those online. Can you please take note of RIT attendance? Welcome. Bye-bye.
Yung, 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 yung,